Hi guys, today I bring you the level 400 to 600 monk guide. It's been quite overdue. To be perfectly honest, I kind of forgot that I hadn't made this one. So here it is. Sorry for the delay. We'll be putting out a level 600 plus monk guide in a few weeks as well. And that one will probably be the final one from the series. Anyway, as always, some assumptions, prerequisites, premium account, some knowledge, experience, and ability to research by yourself. I expect the average fist fighting in this level range is around 110 and magic level around 40 to 45. Not exactly sure, less important anyways. And the note is that my guys are primarily aimed at solo players. If you're a team hunter, then you will probably need to find your content somewhere else. So, the Way of the Monk quest, fully completed now. No more shrines, you don't need to worry about that. Imbues, I mean, this is just a generic comment. At this level, you probably already obviously know this. You need your powerful imbuements, as many as you can in your helmet, weapon, and armors. So, this is just a side note. You don't really probably need to know this anymore. With regards to the equipment items in this level range, I always recommend checking TibiaPal.com/equipment because that is always updated and up to date. But you know, so when this video is outdated 5 years from now, TibiaPal will still be up to date with all the equipment there. Nevertheless, at the time of writing, your best items for this level range for energy is Solkamas, Weapon Earth. I'm just realizing I put Sanguine Claws from 600, but obviously you don't get it until then. So you want to have Cobra Bow at 250 as well. From 250, you've got Cobra Bow. That's your best Earth weapon at the moment until the Sanguine Claws at 600. For the physical weapon, I recommend Falcon Sai. There is an argument to be made for the Amber Kusig Wujogu, but whatever, but that is a bossing weapon. It's not really a hunting weapon. For hunting, I believe Falcon Sai is better. Destruction weapons also fine as well. The Falcon Sai is okay, but it's, you know, you don't really use much physical weapon, put it that way. For the helmet, I recommend just the Ethereal Coned Hat. It's better than the Demon Mengu. For the armor, I recommend Soul Garb. I know some people like to keep the Nagatanko and Stoic X-Robe. It's pretty close, but I do think Soul Garb is overall better. So if you can afford it, just grab a Soul Garb, sell your Nagatanko, sell your Stoic X-Robe, and you're going to be fine. For the legs, from level 300 to 500, we'll be using the Mutant High Trousers. At level 500, make sure to upgrade to the Sanguine legs. Currently, very, very cheap as well, so definitely pick those up if you can. For the boots, you have a couple of options. You have the X foot wraps, which give you the augment to the base damage of Greater Flurry of Blows with some fire resistance, and you have the Soul Swords with some physical resistance and ice protection. So the option here is Soul Swords are like the defensive one because they have the physical protection. X foot wraps are the offensive one. So if you're hunting something easy or team hunting, you probably want the X foot wraps. If you're hunting something that's quite hard and you know you're at risk of death, then you should be using the Soul Swords. That's basically it. Both have their uses. Soul Souls, honestly, not so great in my opinion overall, but they are still the best in slot. Probably the last item I would get in this level range. So I get a question I get a lot. Maybe we'll answer this in a second about the order of which items you should be getting. I'll answer that in a second. So for amulets, you still only have two options: color of orange plasma for something easy, or when you like being cheap, versus Marudri Bruges for like a more defensive setup, more expensive setup. Rings, kind of a similar idea. You've got this sort of a ring of orange plasma / power ring, I suppose, if you really want to be quite cheap. You've got a prismatic ring for like really hard places, and the ethereal ring from level 400 generally. So the question I often get is the order of best in slot items in this level range. So here we go. In my opinion, best one to get first is the Ethereal Coned Hat at level 400. Okay, this is for level 400 stuff. Okay, let me start this question again. If you have the right level, Sanguine stuff is the best. Get your Sanguine Claws, Sanguine Trousers, Sanguine Legs. Those are the best. If you don't have those, let's go to level 400 items. First of all, Solkamas is the best one, is the most impactful one. However, it's extremely expensive and people can't often afford it. If you can afford it, just get the Solkamas. It's going to be very good from level 400 to 600. At 600, you're mostly going to be using Sanguine Claws. But if you can afford it, make sure to get that one. However, most people can't afford it, so it's kind of a moot point. So outside of all the other items that you have at level 400, and this is the question I often get, this is the exact question. Outside of Solkamas, what is best? So in my opinion, the first item to get is the helmet, the Ethereal Coned Hat. After that, I would get the Ethereal Ring. Those are very good items, both of them, in my opinion. And then we get into the soul items, which are a little worse. So then I would get Soul Garb as the third item, and Soul Souls as the fourth item. So that's my priority of items when it comes to level 400. The hat first, the ring second, the armor third, and the boots fourth. The armor and the boots aren't so necessary because the competing items like the Stoic X robe or the X foot wraps are very, very good in their own right, so it's not as needed. However, I do think that the hat and the ring are very, very good, and you do want to pick those up as soon as you can. And this is all, ignoring whether you can afford Soul Mass or not. Obviously, Soul Mass is the most impactful level 400 item if you can afford it. So, moving on for recommended quests in this level range, everything that we talked about from previous guys, but like the primary focus in this section, I think, will be on like Heart of Destruction, Ferumbra's Ascendant accesses, secret library stuff, Too Hot to Handle tasks to get your Warzone 789, 20 Years a Cook to get your access to like Nimesats and Boltors, Bloody Tusks, this is the new quest for Nosferatus, you also want to have the Nosferatu access, and Grave Danger as well, progress that one for like your flimsy respawns, etc. A bunch of stuff to focus. Maybe you want to start looking at Magma Bubble as well, Primal Ordeal, and maybe, yeah, that's probably it. With regards to best hunting places, so this is like my recommended level under 600 places. One thing to notice here, this is sorted by raw experience, by the way, and this is still more or less accurate, even after all the nerfs. I think those are the peaks you can probably get in all of these places. Something to be aware of, there is an extra spot currently in the game at the time of recording, which is the Nosferatu Fortress, that normally I recommend for level 600 plus because you want your Sanguine Claws. However, it is so good right now that you can consider going there earlier, like level 500 with the Cobra Bow, and it's probably going to be better than the 7kk Raw. So something to keep in mind. However, I do expect it to be nerfed soon, so if you're watching this video in the future, it's probably not as good. However, all those places you can see here, probably still good. You've got your Cobra Bastion, you've got your Nagas with a Soul Kamas, you've got your Azalon Castle, Cobra Bastion, all good places. I think, Ixupan Occupied Sanctuary is probably a little bit better than this as well, because likely in this level range you have Soul Kamas, so I expect the Occupied Sanctuary to go up to like close to 6kk Raw as well. Anyway, plenty of nice, fun respawns in this level range. I quite enjoyed this one. Once you've got your Soul Kamas, plenty of good stuff. For the profit, you've got a few options here. You've got like Bashmus, Guitar Blilus, Warzone 7, some Pumin and Plague, Feruseals, Falcons, Maripor Turtles. A lot of these respawns will be scaling quite a bit as well. I'm currently level 680, and in a bunch of these places I can make like 2kk raw once I've 2kk profit once I've like cut out supplies and stuff. So give those a try. A lot of nice profitable respawns. Not many EXP based respawns here, but like Falcons, for example, are a good respawn. Upper Rashomon is a good respawn for experience as well, and they're both still pretty profitable. So those give you a pretty good balance. And anyway, that's what I have for you today in this guide. I hope that is useful. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. The 600 plus guide will be coming in probably 3 weeks or so from when this video is published. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.